Well, good afternoon and welcome to week number 4 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 2. I'm Adirondack Rick. Let's have some fun. I don't know what we're going to expect. What about you?
And I'm Rex. Well, from what I can see, we can see some sort of Randomizer based off the N6.0.32. So that's going to be a little fun for these guys.
Yeah, now this is not a guarantee that we are going to get an Randomizer. It means there's the potential for it, because sometimes it can pop up with that underneath and we'll have everything completely vanilla. However, it's very likely we are going to see a Randomizer. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that we could find out here, because we will be traveling into this just as blind as the runners are.
Yeah, basically the seed is, well, a secret to everybody as we start.
We will start with the standard. So we actually do have to go through the standard sequence. This is going to give us a few extra seconds to go ahead and talk about this mode. Hey, we have ourselves the Cane of Samaria for the first item to be found. So what kind of things can we get?
Okay, we can get map and compass shovel, key sanity, vanilla, which is kind of boring, but swordless for the swords anyway. We can get different item pools between normal, hard, and expert. We got entrance shuffle, enemy shuffle, boss shuffle, and different accessibility idea.
Okay, we find our uncle. He's going to give us the hammer. So it's not an uncle. It's not a guaranteed opening sword here.
At least they have an item.
There is some sort of key sanity going on, though. Yeah, there it is. So we don't know if we have a key sanity going on or if we have a map compass shuffle, because we just found the compass to Ice Palace. Now, there is that little tracker on the bottom of the menu, which means we have some sort of key sanity going on. It could just be the small keys, or we could have a little bit more. We are still waiting to get a little bit more information about this seed. By the way, we could get swordless.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here are gonna be wanting swordless, but we won't know until we either see a lot of green 20s or if we go to either the top of Aga Tower or the back of Skull Woods and see if the curtains drawn already.
Okay, as we head through here, we find a small key to this dungeon. So we do have a small key at the very least. Big keys could still be in their normal dungeons.
And it's still not quite, I guess, 100%. That's gonna be just map and compass. But
well, we know we've got a key sanity going on because of that. This is the small key to this dungeon. But we don't know if it's going to just be small keys or if large keys are going to be in the pool as well. We will find out as we move along. Obviously, there's a lot of information to take in. These runners are still going to want to try to find bombs because we want to get to the back 3 of the escape on our first cycle through.
Yeah, it's always bad to not get bombs there and then have to wait for the power glove or to go through the escape sequence again just to get to that back.
Oh, GFE takes a death to the guard. Ball and Chain claims the victim. This is going to allow Revenant to take an early lead. Now, we get the big key to this dungeon. That could mean something right there. Okay, we get a small key to Turtle Rock.
So we at least know it's a map compass small key shuffle. And yeah, we are still waiting for the big key.
So GFE is going to have to take the trip back downstairs. And this is not a happy death to end up taking this early on. You're going to be feeling tilted for a good portion of this run. And this is part of the Lake Hylia division. And the Lake Hylia division is... I'm sorry, not the Lake Hylia division. This is part of the Hyrule Castle division. And this is a stacked division. We have 4 teams that are currently sitting with a 4-2 record, 12 points, Spear Affinity being one of them. And in 5th and 6th place are 2 teams with 9 points.
That being, check your boots. Did you check your boot? And
The other one being Hyrule Track and Field. They are 3-3, and they're not assured of a playoff spot. In fact, not all of the current teams that are sitting with 12 points are going to be guaranteed. So GFE picking up that big key, losing about 1 minute and 20 seconds to that death.
GFE, what are you doing?
Why are you asking what GFE's doing?
Well, I'm wondering why Zelda is not following.
Ooh, I did not notice that. That is going to be bad news when he gets to the bookshelf. This is going to cost him another 1:20. And already, this is where getting that death to that ball and chain guard is going to be affecting GFE, because without that death, without that happening to him, he would probably have remembered to take Zelda. Unfortunately, the salt of taking that death is probably overriding at this point, and this is just going to leave GFE a little more tilted. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many rage hammers, rage pounding he's gonna be doing once he gets.
I don't expect any. I don't expect any. It's all going to be in the mind. It's going to be in the mind at this point.
Oh, he just noticed. He just noticed.
Yeah, he finally realized it, but unfortunately the damage is already done. He's got to walk all the way back. Now, RampantRevenant still does not have any bombs. This could be a little bit of an opportunity to catch up a little of the time. And I say just a little of the time because he's already lost a lot of time to this oops.
Yeah, it looks like Rampant. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, because Rampant apparently did not get any bombs.
Yeah, I guess he did one. I guess he pounded a few rats and bats and realized, oh, they're not in the bomb pool, so.
All right, we get 10 arrows. Now, one mechanic, he's got to grab that heart. You can't take another death at this stage. So, here's the thing. We've been dealing with vanilla enemies throughout this entire situation. Question is, what do we expect in the dungeons? We could just have a boss shuffle.
Yeah,
the chain guard is still there.
That's kind of neat. Don't really see anybody going back to there, but this is a weird situation. Anyway, it could just be a boss shuffle, if anything. But with as far as I remember, with standard mode, they usually don't enemy shuffle anything because it can be really trolly for the escape sequence. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Tier 2 tree pull for RampantRevenant turning out to be hard as Rampant going downstairs, and we do have our normal entrances. We get the Quake Medallion inside of the tree.
Well, normal so far. We still... Well, actually, no, never mind. It is completely normal. Never mind.
So let's talk about the end goal of this seed. We might not necessarily need 7 crystals to beat the game. We may not need 7 crystals to enter Ganon's tower. As far as the tower's concerned, it's only a 25% chance that we need 7 crystals to get in.
Yeah, we could have a pedestal goal instead.
Well, and that'd be interesting. It could also be a 70% chance of Ganon's vulnerability being set to 7 crystals. We could have a 20% chance of the Master Sword pedestal, or we could have a 20% chance of an all dungeons as we find the bow downstairs. And flippers.
And getting back to the point, we won't be able to find out until we get to the Dark World and the Pyramid and read the sign there, as we get our small key to Castle Tower. Ooh.
So as we continue to figure out what is going on with this seed, we do know that if you want to get more information about what we are doing here in week number 4, the first of 64 matches of this week number 4 of the league, you do !mystery.
And that will point you to every single weight for every single setting as we get the power glove in the back of the well.
That opens up the back 3 of escape since we did not get any bombs to the process here. GFE chasing down the rat. Unfortunately, no bombs in his arsenal.
And we just found out it's a full key sanding. We just found the big key to Turtle Rock.
No, just no.
And the small key.
You mean I had to sit here through a key sanity seed?
Yeah, we both do.
Fine, I guess I'm going to have to deal with this.
I am so glad I have a lot of snacks and water ready.
Well, we did have a 30% chance of getting a key sanity, and that's what we've got in this seed, the first seed of the week. You thought last week was crazy enough with Randomizer. Sick Kid giving us the lamp.
That's a nice little find, even though these runners are really experienced at Dark Room.
So just basing on some comments that are going on through chat at this point, just to clarify some things. If Ganon is required as the end goal for this seed, the minimum amount of crystal is going to take in order to get into GT as well as to beat Ganon is going to be 3. The maximum is going to be 7. What was that?
That looked like a sword, so it's not a swordless seed.
That is not a sword. All right. So that 5% chance of swordless is gone. 5% chance of vanilla is gone. 45% chance of assured is gone. We got the randomized swords.
And
now, here's the thing, by the way. We could still have an expert item pool.
Right, which means there could be a few big, green 20 rupees in the item pool.
85% chance of normal, 10% of hard, 5% of expert. Rampant is going to be doing the hula hand.
A little glitch state that the game puts you in if you mess it up a little too much. Brings you to this room, so named by a winner of a Nintendo Power magazine contest, as I recall.
Lucky him. It is also the Hall of Champions, but we don't ever see anyone look at the telepathic tile. GFV now getting through the village as Rampant has finished up with his village checks. Now has opted to go check the back 3 of escape, see what he missed behind.
And both, as you said, that both of them didn't get bombs, correct?
That is correct. So both runners are leaving these 3 behind for now. May not have been any enemies that dropped bombs in that pool. Doesn't look it based on what I saw from the guards as well as from these rats. We get the small key to Dark Palace. That's number 1. We get ourselves a heart piece. We also get a map to the Tower of Hera. So we cannot get a map check to figure out what is going on until the runners start to pick up these maps. If you haven't seen Key Sanity before.
Which is why, if you noticed when Rampant came out, and we got a 7 crystal in Hera. Anyway, when Rampant came out of Sanctuary the first time around, he didn't do a map check because he knew it was Key Sanity of some sort.
Yeah, once you got that compass for Ice Palace in that second chest underneath the passageway into Hyrule Castle, you knew right then and there that you were in a map compass shuffle at the very, very least. So therefore, checking a map would absolutely do nothing. So let's talk about keys. What do we need for some of these dungeons as far as keys are concerned? And again, we do have the outlying factor of this being an enemizer of some sort. We know it's not general enemies. As we find the Moon Pearl, that will be Dark World access.
So certain dungeons, you don't have to worry about keys like Misery Mile and Skullwoods because you can pretty much beat them without them. Other dungeons like Pod, you need at least 4, as I recall, and
Mm-hmm.
4 for Turtle Rock.
So, also one thing that of major importance here with what Rampant Revenant has right now, his Dark World access now means we can find out what the goal of this seed is going to be.
I would expect that after he does the Zord checks, he might go to Hype Cave, and if he's gonna do the Zord check, that is,
Yeah.
and then go to Pyramid.
It would make great sense at this point to go from here into the Dark World, do a Hype Cave, and then head on over to the Pyramid because that will tell you everything you need to know about this end goal of the seed. That way you can start planning around. You can start figuring out exactly what you need to do. If you need to do only 3 crystals to beat Ganon, then you can start planning out, hey, look, I only want to do these 3. I don't have to worry about these keys. Now, Rampant Revenant's going to have to be careful with the crabs on his walk over to the Ice Rod Cave.
At least it's just the normal crabs and not the rollers of this, whatever this Randomizer seed is.
Yeah, we also do find out, he should have grabbed that herb, by the way. Well, we also found out that enemy damage is not, and it's not even an option here.
Yeah, that could have also been an option if we chose to, but that's just really trolly. It's really hard to plan for. You know, we haven't discussed what type of boss shuffle it could be. I mean, it could be like last week, the full shuffle, or it could be random or a simple boss shuffle.
We do see Rampant Revenant starting to grind up on some rupees, and he'll be getting himself up to the 500 that is needed to purchase the Zora item. Getting the Moon Pearl means that the Fake Flippers is definitely on the table for what can happen next. So at 20 rupees a visit here, Rampant Revenant's going to have to come back in here 5 more times on this match between Rampant Revenant and GFE 12.
Rick, Rampant has flippers. He doesn't need to worry about the Moon Pearl and Water Walk glitch.
But he can fake flippers. You know, like the thing I tried doing once in a race.
Or the one time you commented that exact same thing 2-3 years ago.
I'm surprised you could remember what happened to me 3 years ago. I can't remember what happened to me 3 weeks ago.
There is a clip of it still, and I have the link to that old tournament clips.
Oh, God. How much do I have to pay you to burn that clip?
Well, I can't do anything about deleting it. I'm not in the mid for SG.
Shout out to the first tournament back in 2017. Just as an off note, V18 throwback races this weekend. Friday night, 9 p.m., Saturday, 3 p.m. That's our off-topic discussion for now. Back to this race, GFE. Taking a look at the desert area, probably figures he needs to make a splash in order to maybe come back in this race.
I don't know how you can make a splash in a desert, but sure. As Hobo contained our mushroom today.
Do you want a fetch quest? As again, only has 5 rupees.
I don't know if the runners want to fetch quest, but it's still information.
So GFE is heading through the sanctuary and has opted to... Oh, he's going to be doing the Houlihan room setup as well. Rampant lifting up the rock he can't get to. That's for that was probably just a mental miscue at that point.
Probably he mistook his seats from a practice race or something. As we
That could very well be.
Vanilla-ish red meringue in the waterfall fairy. nice stun price for the bombs. That would have been nice to find out earlier.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have a way to stun the enemies back earlier on.
As we get a compass on the Zoro ledge, I don't expect them to go for it.
Yeah, compasses don't have a whole lot of worth in this mode. As we get to the Zora, 500 rupees. What kind of scam are you running today, Zora? Yes, that is.
What is that? 25% return on investment? Maybe my
No.
math's a little off.
No, that's 4%.
Right, my math was off. I'm usually better at this.
Neither runner has opted to go to the Hype Cave to go ahead and explore what we need to do for this seed just yet. As GFE is going through the mini Moldorm Cave, Rampant is heading to the Dark World. It looks like by way of the Village of Outcasts.
He might just be taking the longer route, or no, he's... Oh, he's doing the fake powder glitch.
Yeah, there's the deletion of all of his lamp, all of his magic, and now it's ready to try to lay down the Samario block, but of course it's going to give you that noise and then switch on over to the mushroom that produces our fake powder. And we get to see what the magic powder in this seed will yield to us.
And I curse thee with a piece of heart.
GFE, 426 rupees. Does not have enough to check the Zora item. And Rampant Reverend is heading for the Dark World.
Now, this is still a decent play. He can still do check Skullwood, check Bummer Cave, if that cave on Lake Hylia Island is going to be required. Then head south east towards Hype Cave, and then around to Pyramid. But it's just going to take a long time.
Ooh, GFE. Yes, okay, good. That was his last bomb. And even though I don't think we had anything of importance in here, this is not a cave you want to have to return to because you ran out of bombs. That would not be a fun adventure.
Yeah, it'll be better if you had the flute, but...
And GFE is going to be doing the same rupee grind as we saw from RampantRevenant. 20 rupees at a time.
Yeah, there's a better Ruby Cave near Desert, but it's too far of a walk to bother with it there.
RampantRevenant with 44 rupees, able to check to see what we have the chess game. Thankfully gets that 100, because I was about to say it doesn't have enough rupees to check the digging game afterwards. And there's Thieves Town, but we're not going to dive in it just yet. Obviously, for diving it at this stage, it's just to see what's in the first 4. We don't have access to anything more.
Yeah, because we don't have the Thieves Town big key. That's the main issue.
Mm-hmm. So the quest continues to try to see what we will have still as far as our goals are concerned for the seed. And now GFE heading towards the waterfall has enough rupees to purchase the Zora item. And there's the big key to Swamp Palace. It's one of the big keys you don't ever want to see because it only opens one item.
Yeah, it's not required to get to the boss at all.
And we hear the pendant music inside of Thieves Town, but why is that not an indicator of what we're dealing with?
Because Key Sandy randomizes the music for each dungeon, so it could be a crystal dungeon with pendant music or vice versa.
That's right. You can't get a gauge of what the dungeon is just by walking inside of it. You need to have the map in order to do so. Hey, look, there's the Compass of Thieves Town. Rampant getting a little bit of a traffic jam on that staircase. Trying to be careful so he doesn't get hit by anything else, because mostly anything in these next couple of screens will kill him upon impact.
Especially since these enemies do shoot fireballs, as I recall.
Yeah, touching them is 2 hearts damage. The fireballs are 1 heart damage. We found the map to Turtle Rock. We've already seen a few keys for Turtle Rock. 2 of them by the looks of things. We get the shovel, and that is it for this dungeon, as GFE is heading to trade in that mushroom. And I'm going to assume that if this is not a good prize in the end, we're going to see a reset.
Yeah, he did do saving quick beforehand, correct?
Yes, he did.
And let's see what our witches have for today. Just bombs.
And that is going to be a save and quit. Or rather, that's going to be a reset for GFE. We do not need those bombs. Although I think GFE wouldn't mind having them. So GFE is starting with a sanctuary as well. So the battle of figuring out what the end goal of this seed is going to continue.
It's well, like I said earlier, this routing is perfectly plausible. It's just like for us.
There
Oh, nice.
we go. We have a sword.
Yeah, for us, we would like to know the end goal. I think most runners would like to know the end goal immediately, but it makes sense though.
Rampant now heading, and we get ourselves a small key to Misery Mire, and we're going to mirror and check to see what we have. At the dig spot, there is a blue mail.
Yeah, 4 hearts was really troublesome, but now that blue mail, that will double their damage input.
So,
I'm sorry.
That blue mail tells us something about this seed.
And I'm brain farting. What does that exactly tell us?
We're not an expert.
Oh, right. So it would be at most hard mode then.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice dig right there by Rampant at the entrance to Swamp. I know that was an accidental, thinking they had the mirror up. I'm surprised with this trip into Swamp. Just checking the first chest. So I can actually make sense of this now.
Yeah, first chest, they could have something. He could check the second chest afterwards, but I find this a bit of a time waste at the moment, unless he's doing like a foolish clear of. Especially since he's doing this before Hype Cave, which is really weird.
50 rupees inside that, so if he gets the Swamp Key in the Hype Cave, then it will be an unfortunate move, but we do get that chest out of the way, because that can be a really trolly chest if that turns out to be something of substance. As we get the small key to Dark Palace, that looks like number 2 on our tracker.
As we said before, we need at least 4 to complete Dark Palace, if it's required.
There's Turtle Rock small key, that's number 3. 10 arrows, a piece of heart, some bombs, and Hap Magic. Hap Magic is nice.
I give that about a 4, I guess.
I would give it a 3. Now Rampant is going to check and see what the 5-6 crystals are. This actually is a good move when you're in a map compass shuffle or in a key sanity. So it's Misery Mire and Swamp Palace. Those are 5/6s today.
Which still... Oh, we got a map check and we got crystals at TR as well.
So we now know 4 of our crystals. Oh, we're grabbing the cape.
Yeah, this is a smart play. I mean, he has been taking a lot of damage and still on 4 heart. Speaking of damage, looks like GFE used up his fairy.
Yeah, I think this is to prepare him. Well, he's got mirror. Never mind. I thought this was intentional, but it was unfortunate. We did find out earlier by map that it was a... Oh, Titan's Mid's downstairs in Hera.
That's a good find.
That is a huge find for GFE.
You can complete all of East Death Mountain. Except Hookshot Cave, mind you.
Yeah, except for Hookshot Cave. All right, Rampant. We're going to check the signpost. We are going to find out what we need to do this seed.
As well as the top
As long as he doesn't
pyramid.
take the death. He's got to be careful, though.
Yeah, those spears, the erratic movement of the enemies. Oh boy.
Yeah, this thing here is one thing that I worry about. You got to get 4 stabs. He takes the death. Fairy in a bottle either. We are not going to find out what we need to do the seed just yet. Oh,
I had to say erratic enemy movement. Ugh.
that's the erratic enemy movement that you're talking about. That's the enemy that you have to be concerned about the most, because that really hurts badly as we get the big key to Eastern Palace. So now Eastern is beatable. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's that underlying boss shuffle thing that we've been talking about. Oh no, yeah. There's the underlying thing about the boss shuffle that we've been talking about.
I mean, yeah, it could be a Trinex and Argus, the 2 bosses they can't beat.
All right, Rampant's heading back to the pyramid. We are going to find out what our goal is. Now, GFE, by the way, can find out what the goal is to get into GT.
Yep, there's a sign. If you've probably seen it in previous weeks and during the tournament, but there are signposts at the Gan's Tower as well to find out.
There we go. Here we go. Here's the sign. We need 3 crystals to beat Ganon, and it's a fast Ganon.
So, key sanity, but it's fast Ganon, and 3 crystals. That's a fair trade-off.
We still need to find another sword. That is huge information right there for Rampant.
Yeah, and we only know of 2 swords so far. One of them is at the Lumberjack Ledge.
And we're never going to see it.
Or so we hope.
We're never going to see it. I mean, the fact that you need 1, the boots, 2, castle tower keys still, there's still a whole lot that we still need before we could even talk about that sword off the Lumberjack.
Yeah, there's that. Hopefully it won't be Trolley and be that the last 2 swords be in GT. That would be horrible.
All right, Rampant's about to get the bad news about the mushroom, and obviously Rampant cannot do the... Actually, no, Rampant was the one who did the fake powder, right?
Yeah, he did the fake powder.
Yeah, okay. So obviously it doesn't really matter that he's turned in the mushroom and no longer has it then. Outside of the fact that he does no longer have the ability to do fake powder if he comes up to an anti-fairy or a bunny beam. We're going to find out what's on Catfish now. So, GFE finding the Titan's Mitt is nice, but we don't know. There's the Swamp Palace Small.
Yep, that's entry to Swamp. 1 key that you do need.
We need a hook shot in order to at least get to the boss of Swamp, but this seed is starting to now take shape, and we are beginning to figure out what exactly is going on here. As we get a key from Catfish, it is a Dark Palace small key. That would be small key number 2 for Rampant, but the third that we've already seen in the pool. Actually, the fourth we've already seen in the pool. Super Bunny Cave leads us to a big key. This one is to Skull Woods. It's the other big key you don't really need. And there's the big key to Ice Palace, which... we're finding all the big keys that we really don't need.
Yeah, though the logic wants you to have the Ice Palace big key, it's just a suggestion to rando runners. Or, well, speedrunner, Link to Past speedrunners in general.
GFE putting out the hammer to try to protect himself against the Lionel. We will see what we need to enter Ganon's tower. Be a little less irrelevant now, but it's 6 crystals to get inside. So we have a 6-3 fast Ganon.
With Key Sanity.
With Key Sanity.
And Boss Shuffle.
With Boss Shuffle. Welcome to match number 1 of 64 here in week number 4. And we've got some more great matches coming up this week. Hope you're staying tuned to the Speed Gaming channels as well as the Link to the Past League channels in order to keep up with all the great stuff that is going to be happening this week in the Mystery Week. Week number 4 of 7.
Well, we got one requirement down. There's
our second sword. That's huge.
Yeah, now we can damage Ganon. Well, until we get... Well, first you have to get the 3 crystals, but yeah. That's our second, or no, that's our third bottle of the match so far. Okay, I was wondering what Rampant was doing, but I guess he wanted an extra key just to check the rest of Skullwoods. Because we don't have the fire rod to check the back of it, which, yeah, that would be nice since there is 2 items. Okay, we got a map to Ganon's tower. That's pretty useless. That doesn't really tell us anything. And then we get 300 rupees. And finally, we're gonna get a piece of heart. Oh, and Rampant does not have the big key to Skull Wood, so he won't be able to check the big chest at the time being. And because he used the drop down, he has to use one of those keys that he just got. So now I think the only play that Rampant has is to go up that mountain and do what GFV just did, as GFV is gonna head to the east side of Hyrule. And our first check with Sahasrara and Eastern and Pod. Let's see what a green pendant is, and it's Thieves Town. So you'll need Thieves Town unless there's something on Sahasrara or the back of Thieves. Another useless map in Hyrule Castle, and a piece of heart. Rampant, meanwhile, is checking the back of graveyard ledge, and it's red mail, so it's not. Yeah, you might want to get that red mail. So we are on normal item shuffle. So we're gonna have 4 swords and 3 mails and 3 shields. And considering how heartless this seed has been, that red mail is gonna be really helpful. So GFE gonna take a dip into Eastern first, which is the normal blade. Plus, he can actually beat it. Depending on the boss, if it's Trinex or Argus, and he doesn't get the the rods or the hook shot, yeah, it's gonna be fun. And that cape was not really needed. Only 10 arrows on the bumper ledge. And answer question in chat. Yes, Cold Star is also unbeatable. Thank you for correcting me. Because we have the one medallion we need. We don't have the one medallion we need to beat it. As we get a small key to Thieves. Not quite the right key we need for Thieves. So Rampant's gonna do what GFE did earlier with the deathmount checks, get his Titan's mitts from Hera, and the fee keys are up there as well. Another piece of hearts, which they sorely need, as I said earlier. As to what can damage Moth, pretty much anything. Hammer, sword, almost anything. Excuse me. Hammer, sword for sure. Fire rod, and I can't think of others. Well, not the bow and arrow. I know about that. Can Ice Rod hurt Moth? I don't think I've ever seen anybody try to use the Ice Rod on Moth. Okay, makes sense that Revenant goes for that heart. Like as I've been mentioning, Heartless Seed so far. As GFE finding mostly the rest items not being useful, we're gonna go ahead straight to boss. Hopefully it's a boss that they can beat. And welcome back, Mr. Rick.
And I think we are back. My goodness, that was fun. All right, so we're about ready to get to the Eastern Palace boss. What are we going to be getting here?
Hopefully something beatable for GFE, just so it's not, just so you can get over the mistakes at the start of the map. I cursed.
And instead, it is a boss that we cannot beat. Trennick sends his love.
Okay, let's see if Pot can produce a better boss than that. So,
GFE is probably sitting here going through this entire seed going, why me? As RampantRevenant, the only one of these two who knows what's going on.
Actually, no, GFE checked the pyramid as well.
Okay, well, GFE really knows what's going on because he just got that flute.
Yep, necessary for Misery Mire.
If we need to get in there.
There's that. I do have a question. Would you just go straight for the boss of Pod right now, or just do a little exploring?
I have a question. Did we get the big key?
Good point. I forgot that. I was looking at the small keys.
Yeah, because we do have the 3 keys, and the big key could very well be in here, but if we don't have the big key to this dungeon, then we have no way of getting to the boss. Now, how many big keys do we actually have at this stage? Well, we, by the looks of things, only have, what is it, 3 big keys in circulation? 4, maybe?
4. There's Eastern, which Revenant will get eventually. Skullwoods, Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock. Only Turtle Rock being necessary to beat the seed because you can work. Well, sorry, Turtle Rock and Eastern necessary. The other 2 not so much to beat the seed.
Let's take a look at this seed right now because this is really starting to show its teeth. We can't do anything about that big key in Swamp. That Swamp big key wouldn't do anything at all to begin with. As we get another pod, small key inside a pod, and we get a 20 rupee right there. So Swamp, that big key doesn't even get us to the boss. We still need a hookshot in order to beat that dungeon. Skull, that big key doesn't get us to the boss, and we still need a fire rod to beat that dungeon. Ice Palace, we don't have a fire source by way of bombos or the fire rod. And so therefore we can't even beat that dungeon. So the dungeons that we had the big keys to, we really can't do much about at this stage. However, we do have 3 Turtle Rock small keys, don't we?
Yes, we do. We also might have the medallion to get up there.
Uh-huh. We do have the Cane of Samaria to do some sort of exploring.
Yeah, just only one locked place in TR that they can't get to because of the fire rod.
What does the seed want these runners to do? Well, there's another Turtle Rock small key. That's the 4th.
Well, maybe they want the runners to check Aga Tower for the 2 chests, since they do have the castle tower key. Well, one of them.
Just a nice little setup here for the bomb jump coming up by GFE. Does not have the big key, so he can't check it, but this will allow him to save that key for better usage somewhere else. So there is a piece of heart. We get the 2 big keys. Reverend is probably going, ugh. Yeah, we get the map to Ice Palace. So this, unfortunately for GFE, didn't really span out except for that flute. And if I'm GFE, I'm heading right on over to that area after I activate that flute because I want to see what's in Mire Shed, what's in Checkerboard, and more importantly, what is in Desert.
Yeah, unfortunately, he won't be able to do much in Mire without the hookshot or boots, but Desert would be a good plan.
Saber UX. It's Quake to get into Turtle Rock.
Is this even rando? But yeah, this is really good. How many items, key sanity wise, does TR have again?
Too many.
Well, that's just my question because of the compass. Nice.
Again, too many.
Which means this is a very good play, barring 3 items. 2 we know we need because of the fire rod, and 1 because we don't know what the boss is.
That's right. Because we don't know what kind of boss shuffle we have. Just pointing it out here. So, did you check your boots? 3 and 3, hoping to keep up in the Hyrule Castle division. 6 of the 8 teams in this division are at 500 or above, entering week number 4 of this 7-week regular season. 20 rupees in the Chain Chomp chest, and Rampant just being extremely patient.
Yeah, because Chain Chops still do a lot of damage, even with red mail.
GFE poking into Thieves Town at this point. And I can't remember if we found anything of importance inside of these first 4 chests.
I don't remember either. Maybe a small key or something.
I know we found the compass, which he just came across right there.
Okay, this Pokey's being a real troll right now.
But the fact that he's together with that Anti-Fairy is just making it even worse, because the Anti-Fairy is going to do everything he can to cancel out the damage. So Rampant is not going to check the lava chest.
Which is fair, because you want to check the boss item, the boss.
Trying to stay alive as Rampant gets hit with the bunny beam.
Nice bunny sprite for Twilight Princess Link.
I think the way that GFE is going, he will soon come across the first of his swords. Next up for Rampant is going to be Mimic Cave. So we know we need to get 3 crystals in order to beat Ganon, but this seed so far is not telling us how we are going to go about getting our 3.
Okay.
Oh, that's not fair!
Okay, that's not the mimic click we like seeing around here in game.
And the problem is that if Rampant takes a death, he's back to the old man on the mountain. Get the boomerang. Oh, that's got to be a little soul-inducing there. You're hoping to do that for something great.
And I'm expecting Remnant. If he doesn't like die to pit right now, I'd be very surprised. Oh, yep, I'm surprised. He could have done a death warp.
Does he have a fairy in a bottle?
Oh, no, he doesn't. No, I mean well, there is that. Good point.
Yeah, because obviously, if you do if you have a fairy in a bottle, getting a death is just going to counteract with what you're doing. There's another Palace of Darkness small key. GFE trading in the Breadsmith. We'll find out what he has in just a moment. I think this is a check we never saw from Rampant because he didn't have the Titansmith when he was doing his overworld checks.
That is correct, and GFE is also setting up for the fake powder, which is gonna take a little longer because of the half magic.
Half magic, yeah. The thing I was going to talk about before that little hiccup from Discord that interrupted my ability to get in here and talk about this thing was your GFE, you took that death, and then you forgot Princess Zelda in the first 5 minutes of this run. What is going through your mind as you try to refocus and just maybe just put away what just happened.
He's probably thinking, oh god, I really need to catch up after those miscues.
So obviously the mindset would be, I'm really behind. And that's understandable. There's the big key to Desert Palace, which is definitely a good find at this stage, because as we were pointing out, we can access Desert. Now, Rampant can't because he doesn't have the flute, but we know where the flute is.
Or the book, but flute's a little more useful. Alright then, TR, what boss do you have for us today?
I'm going to say we will have a boss that we can actually defeat, and it's going to be the Armos Knights.
Burn
Yes!
the Rich. So we finally get a crystal in this match. And just the compass, but that doesn't matter. At least we got a
Number
crystal.
one. That's the more important thing. 1 of 3.
At 5 to the hour as well. Oh boy. And is Rampant gonna check Spike Cave maybe? Maybe just check the Ganon's Tower. Maybe just check the Ganon's Tower requirement.
Yeah, he knows that it can't be anything lower than the 3 that he needs to get to Ganon, but this obviously will come into play if we need to maybe, just maybe, pop in here for... Well, actually, I don't see any reason why we would have to pop in there. Because if you have your 3 crystals, you're going to Ganon.
And to answer a question, chat, the TR we had the map to, so yeah, we knew it was a.
Yeah, we knew all along that it was a crystal GFE about to pick up the cape. Rampant, I'm wondering what Rampant's next decision is going to be. Maybe taking that swamp small and seeing what's inside. That's a possibility. And as we turn towards the south, it looks like no. That is not where we are going.
We are going to Pod.
Yeah, that's exactly where we are heading. The Palace of Darkness is on the next on Rampant's agenda. So as we get a few checks that we've seen already from both of these runners, please be sure to follow our runners. They're doing a fantastic job throughout this entire team, Spearfinity and Did You Check Your Boot? They're 2 great teams amongst all the 64 teams we have in this league this season. Taking a look this week for schedule for Hyrule Castle, Did You Check Your Boot? Taking on Spearfinity. Double Dippers, who is part of that 4-2 logjam on the top, will be taking on Hyrule Track and Field, one of the 2 teams that are sitting at 3-3. Forfeiters Are Us will be taking on Seal W. That's a battle for the top spot of this division as well. Both teams are 4-2. And then the battle of the 1-5s, Guardian of the Galaxy Brain versus Spaceballs, the Randall team. So you have to figure if one of those teams is able to sweep this week, they could easily... Excuse me 1 sec. They could very well easily get themselves into that playoff hunt, where the top 3 will make it into the playoffs at the end of the season.
So, looks like Ether is our Meyer access. How vanilla.
There's a piece of heart, and we got ourselves the map to Swamp Palace. Rampant hitting the enemy there twice. I don't know what those things are called, but they are very annoying, and that's the thing that caused RampantRevenant the death earlier on.
Okay, so we got the pendants and Skull and Ice Palace as well, with the green pendant at Thieves.
So that gives us all the information we need to know about this seed then. Ice Palace, Skull Woods, and Thieves Town being our pendants means everything else is crystals this seed.
And with the item layouts, we can get into deserts, but we don't know what the boss is. And that's about it.
Yes, GFE's opening up the portal to Misery Mine, and hopefully he remembers that he can't do anything inside because no hookshot, no boots can't get to the other side of that pit. There's the mirror. Yep, he knows. He is just opening up the portal. Other great matches going on in the league this week. The Andrana Drifters and the Titans Mitts. That's in the Pyramid of Power division. How about that? That's the battle of two 5-1s.
So the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. And how about your team, Rick? How's your team doing?
We're sitting in a tie with first place with Team Kappa after last night's win. We end up facing off against Will Pull Ped for food. They're sitting at 3-3. GFE getting to the Vanilla Big Key chest, and we find ourselves a compass. The compass says to Ganon's Tower. Yeah, freaking who?
And since he doesn't have the big key that Rampant has, he's not going to do much else in desert. But it looks like he might get it if he goes to TR. This is about 50-50 that he's going to go there or to Spike Key, just because he only had the hammer and not the hookshot.
Yeah, I think with that mirror pulled out, he is going towards Turtle Rock, over towards the right-hand side. Ramp is going to get the bad news real soon that this is a dungeon that cannot be beatable in our current state.
Unless he gets both rods in succession, and he's probably not going to come back to Eastern whatsoever.
Yeah, at that point, you're going to say, hey, look, I need 2 items to beat this dungeon. I already have 1 crystal. I will not be back. But this will be the Palace of Darkness afterwards, where at that point, you will get the flute. You've got the big key to desert, so that's now going to be potential crystal number 2. Given the arsenal from Rampant, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a swamp play. Now, we don't have the hookshot to beat it, but we do have access to, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more chests. As GFE activates the portal and Rampant getting the humbling news about the dungeon boss of Eastern Palace. Got another nice match on this week 5 schedule. The Immortals taking on 2 Pearl 2 Furious in the Lake Hylia division. 2 Pearl 2 Furious 5-1 on this season up against the 4-2 the Immortals. We could see a change in the tides for that division. And there is the flute for RampantRevenant. We'll continue to dig, obviously. 4 keys to this dungeon.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can do a save and continue and do some key shenanigans, shall we say?
You can do some save scumming just like you would if you were trying to do the mushroom play, like we saw from GFE earlier. GFE trying to play it safe with the Cane of some Mario strats, at least on the first couple of legs of this pokey. I actually like that strategy. I don't know how it'll work out in that second room or that third room when you got two of them. I like that strategy for that first room. So for those of you joining in, just over an hour into our first week 4 match of the league, Mystery Week, we can tell you what we have. We started off with a standard mode. We have at least 3 swords in play at this point. One of them is the one that both of these runners have, and that was by way of Cave 45 at the south of Haunted Grove. The second one is the one that Rampant has out of Skull Woods. The third is something that neither of these runners are probably going to get, which is by way of defeating Aghanim and getting it out of the Lumberjack.
Mind you, they do have one small key for Aga, which could have both 2 items that they need.
It gets you access to both items, definitely. What did GFE just get in the lava chest?
Nothing useful. I think it was a compass. Mind you, he did have all 4 keys, so it's not as big as a gamble as it would have been for Rampant.
Right. The bigger question here would have been if Rampant left something major behind in that. Like, for example, if that was the silvers, maybe that would be a fire rod. It could have been the hook shot. Okay, this is a strategy I never thought of doing that GFE is showing off against these pokies, and I like it.
Yeah, most people try using bombos because that's the biggest enemy killer, but that also works too.
Yeah. And that's the neat thing about these tournament matches, these league matches, any kind of match here. You get to see different strategies from all of these runners. Now, let's hope that a Mimic doesn't clip past the guardrail this time around for GFE, like it did with Rampant.
Looks
One
like
key remaining for Rampant. He's going to use it on the maze. Oh no, he's going to hold on to it.
Yeah, he just went for the north to south setup for the bomb jump.
Mm-hmm.
So, did either of them check the vanilla big key chest and pod?
Yes, Rampant did. It was a compass. And it was the compass to Palace of Darkness. So everything that we have access to has been checked inside of this Palace of Darkness. The only 2 spots that haven't been are the big key blocked locations, the big chest, as well as the boss. So Rampant Reverend at this point ended up going to the wrong location. He wants to go to the Sanctuary so he can activate the flute. Wants to go ahead and head on over towards that general area. Now, we don't know if we can beat the boss of Desert, but I have a feeling that is going to be the next dungeon that we are going to see the boss of.
At least he'll be able to access it, which GFE should be able to.
In 2 chests. In 1 chest. There it is. Probably groaning just a little bit because of the fact that he has already been there. So it's one of those backtracks that he doesn't really want to make. And we see him set up the safety door just in case he has to leave. But we'll be pleasantly surprised to find that it is going to be the Armos Knights as the boss here, as we get the activation of the flute. So, as I was beginning to state, we have a standard, we have a boss shuffle. We don't know what kind of boss shuffle we have. We have a 6-3 fast Ganon. So six crystals to get into Ganon's tower and 3 to defeat Ganon himself.
Okay, is Rampant? Oh yeah, Rampant's gonna do the Smith chain.
Yeah, we've already seen this from GFE. Did he do the purple chest, though?
I believe he did.
Okay. There is the compass for GFE, with the compass to Misery Mire. Pulls out the mirror.
Maybe he'll do a spike check right now?
That's the only other thing that GFE has on this mountain. And he is going to do it. There's no other reason why he is walking in this direction. He already knows what he needs to get into GT, I believe. Yeah, he was the first one to find out that we needed 6 crystals to enter GT. So this right here is a hard, I'm going into Spike Cave. And I like this play. This is more information for us.
And that's something that GFE would think that his opponent wouldn't go or check just yet. Because at 7 hearts, even though you have half magic and cape, it's still a bit of a pain.
So there's the red rupee for Rampant, and GFE down to 1 heart, but has plenty of magic with his magic cape. Lifts up the block, and what do we find? It is a map to Misery Mire.
Which you already knew the crystal for because of the bomb shop vendor.
Yeah. I is sad. Desert Palace. There's no other place to go at this point.
And they're relatively synced up now. But actually, GFE's gonna have a bit of a lead actually now because Rampant still has to check the miner shit. And
he's also got to check inside of Desert as well.
So that's an interesting turn of events that despite GFE's miscue at the start, he's now actually at the advantage.
Yes, he is. As Rampant now heads in here. And if GFE doesn't get anything good out of this, he's going back to the big chest and checking that here in Desert. Other than this, we have Swamp Palace. And I mentioned there's 5 items in there that we have access to at this point. How much of Swamp did we check, by the way? Did we check the big key chest?
Of Swamp, all we checked was the first chest because they didn't
No. Of Skull Woods, I mean, I'm sorry.
I don't think Rampant had the big key at the time.
No, I meant the big key chest.
Yeah, no, Rampant didn't have the big key at the time, but he checked it because he did that. He did Skull before going to Dark Death Mountain.
Oh, we can't beat this one! We need the hook shot! Oh, Gabe, what are you doing to us?
The fun of boss shuffle.
Oh.
So that's 2 dungeons we can't beat at the moment.
And GFE is about to get the 20 rupees out of here, and so the search for actual stuff we can do continues. We also do have those 2 checks in Aga's tower. I know you keep reminding me of that.
Yes, indeed. Let's see which way GFE
Oh
goes.
my goodness. Do we go to 4? We're going to 3.
He's checking
Yeah, so this could be a move that makes a whole lot of sense on his plate. Plus, it gives him the Master Sword, which would be a guaranteed get to Ganon or defeat Ganon mode. GFE's got a lot of rando experience, knows how to do this stuff with the Silverless Master Sword Ganon. Answering check. The logic be beatable only. You can do exclamation point mystery to find out what the current the entire weights are going to be. But as far as accessibility is concerned, it's 90% items, 10% locations is the weights for the accessibility. So this was the check I was talking about from GFE. We get ourselves a bee in a bottle.
So that's...
yeah, the big chest we obviously have access to too, that you were mentioning, yeah. What if it's in that big chest?
That would be a troll.
That would be a quandary. What if it's the Fire Rod? Because Fire Rod opens up Ice Palace. Or Bombos.
And the back of skull, which they already had, but they don't want to go to the back of skull. I mean, it's a pendant after all.
Doesn't really matter at this stage. You're looking for anything that opens up to locations. There's the bomb jump from GFE. What's inside? Bombs! I said bombos, not bombs, game. Bombos. There's an extra O.
And Rampant is gonna take the Swamp Dip.
Rampant wants to go for a swim. Best place to do so is Swamp Palace. 5 items inside. Did Rampant check... I'm sorry. Did Rampant check Graveyard Ledge?
Yeah, it was nothing.
Oh. What about Magic Cape?
Also nothing.
Oh.
Oh, wait, sorry. My mistake. Red Mail was at Graveyard Ledge. Thank you, chat.
That's still an O.
Yeah, it's not really progression, but it's not the nothing that I just said, so...
There's the 10 arrows, and yep, GFE is heading right for the lead, so he will have Red Mail soon, providing he doesn't take that death. Where do you think this is, SaberUX?
Hopefully a hook shot for Rampant's sake.
So you think it's here?
Well, the swamp has been pretty trolly about last locationing in V31 as far as I've seen, so.
GFE getting the red mail out of here.
Yeah, definitely gonna need that. I mean, I'm assuming at this point all the heart pieces are in Ganon's tower with how heartless this seed is.
This seed has been heartless from the beginning. Right when it said you had found the compass to Ice Palace.
Well, there is that.
Catfish check here from GFE.
Which was a small key as I recall, but I can't remember which one.
Bombs! I said bombos, not bombs game, okay? 3 checks remaining in here.
Let's see what the south chest for swamp is, and it's a heart piece. And a heart fill. Nice.
Heading on over towards the west side, these are the last remaining checks of this here. GFE, you have a decision to make. Do you go to Castle Tower or do you go into Swamp? You're going Castle Tower! We got ourselves a divergence! One of these 2 runners is about to get lucky!
And one of these 2 runs has got to rush to the other one. Well, maybe both sides will have progression.
And these 2 checks are kind of quick.
At least in GFE side. Rampant's not so much without the hook shot.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant by GFE going to check Castle Tower. That's what I meant by these 2 being 2 quick checks. All right. You just gotta get through this room and 2 spins per guard. Seems like GFE is just trying to take this a little more aggressively. Come into this room. Spin and heart piece.
But a
One
nice
check
heart fill.
remaining in here. One of these 2 are about to find something that will open up this seed. Rampant finds Bombos! That opens up Ice Palace. And there's a key to Ice Palace.
Ooh, that's not good for GFE. He's gotta rush to swamp.
He's got to get to Swamp now. But we still have one more check here in Swamp. RampantRevenant.
And will it be progression? Or will it be a dud?
It's a dud. RampantRevenant leaving here, but now knows exactly what he needs to do. I think.
He's taking a long route. I guess he
Don't
does.
tell me he's checking the tower. No, he's not. He's just taking the long way around. Oh, don't tell me he's going to take the long way around. He's gonna check Castle Tower. So this will give us a little bit of time back to GFE.
Like, I get not wanting to go to Ice Palace since it is one of those hard ones, but this is gonna hurt.
This is going to be unfortunate for Rampant only because it adds a little bit of time back to GFE. But, well, he's going to add about another 3 seconds by way of mirror bonking. Maybe a little bit longer than that.
Yeah,
10
nice little
arrows there
decap.
for GFE. So, Bombo's apparently into Ice Palace, which we know is a pendant. Oh, game. Oh, that was actually a much faster first room for Rampant.
Yep, smart use on using the bow and arrow, though the second room with the running
little-
guards.
Yeah, a little fast, a little slower, but both runners probably at this point in time just hating this seed for everything it's worth. We're an hour 23 in, and we have 1 crystal.
And that crystal was 5 minutes to the hour, so yeah, this has been a very trolly seed. As chat points out, yeah, it was the crystal to TR being the first one of all things. That
I know. Rampant now heading into Ice Palace. The Bombos allows us to get past the room of the Freezors. They probably saw the 3 on the signpost and thinking, good, I'll be done in an hour. We are still 2 crystals away from the end goal. With the 1 key out of Castle Tower, this will help Rampant a little bit. I don't know about Rampant's skill with the Icebreaker.
We'll see if he heads back south after turning on the switch up north.
Yep, exactly. We'll find out shortly, but first we have to deal with the Room of the Pentagators. Few sword swings here. Pretty solid room, all things considering. Quake would have taken care of it faster, but may want to conserve his magic if he is trying to do Icebreaker. Or maybe just trying to conserve his magic because we don't know what's going to be downstairs.
I mean, it could be a vanilla cold star for all we know.
I think at this point in time, you want to see a vanilla cold stare after what you saw inside of a desert palace as well as an eastern palace. And he is doing Icebreaker. So to kind of discuss this Icebreaker, it's been a recently added on glitch that was allowed by the council. That's what I mean by recent. So you're going to see Rampant set himself up, and it looks like he's setting himself up a little bit differently than some of the setups I've seen before. But he's trying to get it so he can get himself into that barrier. As you can see, he's not getting himself into that barrier just yet, so he keeps trying to readjust. Now he thinks he's got it. He slides over. He gets the Icebreaker. Perfect. A little extra to set it up, but he does pull it off.
And even though that took a little extra time, it's still better than walking down the long way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Still pulls the tongue. That's a force of habit at this point. There's a big key to the Tower of Hera. We now can get in there and beat that.
Provided it's a nice boss.
Define nice at this point.
Well, hopefully if it's a simple shuffle, it won't be Trinex or Argot.
You are right. Hopefully we don't have that.
But if it's a full shuffle, oh boy.
At this point in time, these runners would welcome a vanilla troll dorm. We're gonna go check the iced tea room. We know that upstairs in Hera can't be Trinex, by the way.
Yes, it's one of the 5 bosses that can't be in the Moldor rooms.
Mm-hmm. Rampant now making his way over towards the Freezor room. We'll jump across the pit as soon as he can hit this switch. Probably asking Ice Visits to take a break. There's the Quake strats for GFE. Let's see how he pulls off his Icebreaker. There's the bomb right there for Rampant. And I think this is more of the reason why he probably didn't want to touch the Quake, is because he wanted to preserve his magic, because he knew he had to bombos this room.
But just for 20 rupees.
Yeah, we're just seeing 20 rupees in here. Small key against tower, which we will never see the seed.
Or we would hope to not see at this point.
Well, what reason what reason would we be stepping in there at this point?
Yeah, that's true. It's 6 to enter, but 3 to finish the game. So never mind me. Plus it's fast.
The only reason I think of why you'd want to be popping in there is for a sword possibility, and once we got that Master Sword, that was the end of that. GFE trying to get through this, gets it, second try, and we have Moldorm.
6-eye Moldorm at that. One of the funny things about Randomizer.
You know that seed that I played last night for the league matchup against Hungry Hippo Man had an 8-eyed Moldorm we never get to see. There's the big key to Thieves Town, another pendant dungeon. Uh-oh.
I hope Rampant goes up to Dark Mount, or Death Mountain, excuse me. I don't think he wants to go to back of the Thieves just yet.
We're just a fire rod away from opening up the possibility of a pedestal.
But what would be on the pedestal that would make it necessary? Maybe just a
Ice Rod. Boots, perhaps. Because Hookshot blocks us out of one crystal right now because of Argus. Ice Rod blocks us out of another crystal because of Trinex. And we can't even do anything about Misery Mire because we don't have the boots, nor do we have the Hookshot.
Plus, Boots also locks out the one chest of Hookshot as well as the Balkrocks and Kingstooth.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, my goodness. What is going on with this seed?
Welcome to Mystery Week, everybody.
Exactly. I hope you're ready for all the fun things that this week is going to do to our runners.
Two more chests coming up in Hera. We got 300 rupees.
And we have an attempt for a bomb jump now. Well done. Big key to Dark Palace. We may have that access to Ganon after all. Again, we can't confirm it yet.
Can Argus be up here in Tower Hera?
No. But we do have some eyeballs, and Rampant's going to be taking them on one by one from afar away.
I love this strat. Using the arena to advantage. Hopefully it goes to the left side. No, don't go. Drop. No, never mind. Oh, it's just to left. Never mind.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid use of the arrows to at least take care of some business here.
He probably should have left 4 more just to take on the big eyeball, but eh.
Well, the remaining small eyeballs are somewhere. So he's going to try to get rid of it by just continuing to slash at it. There it is.
The joys of the Moldorm 1 arena.
So apparently some of the small eyes wound up despawning or something. But yeah, your damage to the big eye does take place. GFE heading up here to Hera as well. These two runners about to do a high five. And now here comes the Spike Cave check for Rampant. But depending on what we have in the Palace of Darkness, this could be it for the seed.
Rampant's changing his mind about.
Yeah, he's going to the Palace of Darkness right now.
I was wondering why he was going to Spike. I was thinking, come on, go to Pod.
So there is a possibility that we are reaching the very near end of this seed. Don't forget, we've got a fast Ganon, so all we need are the 3 crystals, and he's beatable. Now, that being said, if it's another Trinex, or if it's another Argus, Rampant has nothing he can do about it. This will not be a beatable boss. But if it's Cold Stare, if it's Blind, if it's Mothula, if it's the Lambolas, if it's the Boldorm, if it's the Armos Knights, Rampant is on his way. If it's Vitreous too, Rampant has got crystal number 3 and will be on his way to Ganon right after this.
Otherwise, he has to check that pod big chest or to the back of Thieves to find more progression. And I hope for their sake, hopefully not, because this seed has been,
And we don't have any guarantee on what kind of boss shuffle we have just yet. Because if this turns out to be random or full, it could very well be multiple of the bosses that we were just talking about. So stay tuned. This will be a real fun week for commentary as well as the viewers to figure out what is going on with these seeds. And if this is any indication of what we can expect here in week number 4, buckle up. It's going to be a fun week. So get your guesses in the chat. What boss are we going to be facing here in the Palace of Darkness? SaberUX, what are we going to be facing?
Oh, let's see. It's vanilla. I'm just curious.
That's right. If it's vanilla, we also have ability to defeat it and get to Ganon. I didn't even bring up Helmassar King. Everybody in chat wanting to say Trinex.
Which means everybody in chat's evil.
It's not Trinex. It's the Armos Knights. We're in go mode.
At 1:30. Well, okay. I'm a little early on that one. Should I say it's 1:36:27? That's go mode, or just wait till he finishes this fight?
This is a beatable boss. It's going to be an annoying boss at this point, but it's a beatable boss. Now, GFE still has a chance to get in this, depending on how good Rampant is coming up here against this fight. He's got to be extremely patient. He's out of arrows. The other thing, bear in mind, is the Ganon fight. The Master Sword Silverless Ganon fight could be it could be fun for both of these runners. We'll see how it goes. GFE's going to have a much faster fight because he's got 20 arrows. Hopefully he can get some extra arrows before he gets to the boss.
No, if he only just uses 2 on the red mimic and then slashes the rest, he should be fine. And I say that and I curse him.
Well, he didn't even pick up the other arrows here, so he's going to have 16. Okay, so here we go. GFE has let go of his B. It looks like what Rampant's going to end up doing is making a stop at the potion shop first, knowing what he's going to be up against. We'll get to find out where the silver arrows are located. So we can make a guessing game out of that, too. Where does everyone think the silver arrows are going to be?
And we can also guess how many extra teleports Ganon is going to troll us with today.
Yeah, let's not count those, though. I mean, it's going to be the same for both of these runners, but let's not count those. My mind starts to stop after about 13.
Now we know that Rapid has a flute, but
Pick those up! No, you don't need them anymore. Never mind. You don't have silvers. What am I thinking? So here's the thing. If GFE is a little more confident, he could steal this away while Rampant's picking up potions.
Yeah, Rampant's taking the long route because he doesn't want to save and quit and mirror again, even though he could flute here fast.
Ooh, there's a few arrows going wayside here for GFE, so he's gonna just wait for the end to come to him. Gets a couple of spins on the Armos Knights. GFE probably thinking at this point, I should have picked up those extra arrows. So here we go. Final Armos for GFE. Rampant now walking into the pyramid. We have a fast Ganon, so we're just going to drop down into the hole. A Master Sword, Silverless fight for both of these runners is coming up next, and what's going to be a very exciting finale to what has been a 3 crystal seed. Oh, goodness, this is going to be a lot of fun.
If you call, how many, 70 spins? 70 plus spins fun?
Rampant just making sure before he drops down into the hole. GFE is mirroring. He's going to go to the portal here, which I think is a faster walk because you don't have to go through the maze. May see GFE opt to go with some Samaria to try to get some double spins out of it. Nice setup here for Rampant, getting him into the corner. That'll allow him to get a couple of doubles, or maybe one.
Didn't get that hit there.
Gets a double there. I think we're in stage 2. Yes, we are. Unfortunately, Rampant left the corner, so this is going to be a little bit slower for Rampant. Now, I'm surprised that Rampant, even though he had purchased a couple of potions, opted not to go with cape strats here to try to get some extra hits in. GFE's heading into the fight.
Does GFE have any potions or fairies left? I can't remember.
I do not know. But he's very confident right now, and I know GFE is a veteran runner of this, so therefore his Master Sword is probably going to be of more confidence than what we may be seeing from Rampant. Like I said, there we go. There's the cape for Rampant. I'm surprised he didn't pull that out even sooner. Chat is telling us that we do have a blue for GFE. Stage 3 for Rampant. Two parts of the floor down. GFE trying to get into stage 2.
Ganon not being too trolly with the teleports.
There's the cape for GFE. He knows he's in stage 2. Silvers were in Ganon's tower. You needed 6 crystals to get into Ganon's tower. Spin 1 of 24. 2. Rampant's going to try to maintain his lead. A fall now gives GFE the lead. That's 4 out of 24. Being conservative with his magic. GFE is now on stage 3. Same warps for both of these runners. Ooh, Rampant. Thankfully, he didn't run right into him. That would have been a death, I think, at 3 hearts. GFE having a little bit of lag here. Oh boy. The problem is that this is desyncing these two. Not like this. Oh my goodness, they're both heading to stage 4. I don't know what Rampant's on right now. I've lost count.
So vibe, and this is just so intense. I don't think Rampant has any miss. And I say that I curse him.
That's a commentator's curse there, my friend. Over the corner. I think he's getting up towards 20 at this point. Chat telling us that that was number 18. 19 coming up. 24 more spins to go. Just don't take the fall at this point. Gotta keep yourself very, very safe. Oh, bad hit right there. Gonna use the blue potion. GFE, don't know where he is. He's got the lamp out as well, so he's going just for a couple of hits here per cycle instead of the attempted for triples. I think Rampant's down to one more.
Well,
Oh, missed him. Swing and a miss.
It's not like they had the fire rod for triples.
Oh, that's right. They don't have the fire rod. Never mind. That's 24! And RampantRevenant gives Did You Check Your Boots their 4th win of the league. Get your GGs in the chat. Finishing with an official SRL time, 1:44.41. GFE still into the fight. Trying to finish him off. Almost there. There's the explosion. So about a half a minute behind him will be GFE 12. And this puts Did You Check Your Boots into a tie with Spearfinity in the standings of the Hyrule Castle Division. Both teams at 4 and 3. GG's to both of you. What a finish.
Let's see if we can get these runners into the voice channel.
So we first welcome RampantRevenant as our winner of the siege. GG's to you. Congratulations.
Hello and GG's. By the way, did not use my stream audio now because I switched to restream and forgot to mute the audio.
It's all right. We've been sticking with GFE throughout the entire fair, I believe.
All right.
But, oh, goodness. Here you are heading to the signpost, and you're thinking, 3 crystals to defeat Ganon. This is going to be a nice quick seed, isn't it?
It's more of, all right, which item am I going to find that gets me go mode? I thought it was first going to be Fire Rod, then I thought it was going to be Hook Shot. Turns out is Hera Big Key to Pod Big Key.
What were you thinking as you're making your way through that swamp pass?
I was honestly hoping for a Hook Shot in there. I've seen it before, but I don't know. It could have been anything in there.
We also welcome in GFE into the discussion here in this post-race interview. What a finish between both of you hitting to the Armos Knights. This was a close race that had the potential to be an extremely amazing finish, and it was actually an extremely amazing finish in the end.
Thanks. GG's to Revenant, but I only have a few words for this seed, and that is #blame Zelda.
Now, I do want to ask this question here because obviously it became very relevant when you look back at this seed, especially at the distance here between you two. Did the death to the ball and chain guard affect what happened when you ended up going to the Zelda cell?
I mean, it threw me off my usual muscle memory, I guess. But at the same time, why is it even possible to open that chest without her following you? That's so dumb.
I do it with the maiden in Thieves Town way too many times. I have people who are probably in this chat and people who are in my chat who remind me of that all the time when I forget to grab the maiden, but that was unfortunate there in regards to Princess Zelda. And thankfully you got to remember it where you did, as opposed to finding out when you got to the bookshelf and you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah, just wish I'd remembered it 40 seconds sooner.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it happens. These things happen in Rando, and you just have to try to shake them off. But I think like one time ever I've died to the ball and chain guard, and one time ever I've forgotten to pick up Zelda. So having both of those happen in the same seed is pretty salt-inducing. But I mean, the worst thing was this seed, guys. I hope you weren't expecting a fast seed when you saw 3 crystal fast cannons.
That's what I was asking Revenant when he got in here. When you saw that the sign said you only needed 3 crystals to defeat Ganon, were you expecting like an hour-long seed maximum?
Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh great, this is a fast seed, and I've lost 3 minutes in escape. But at the same time, when you get those 3 crystal seeds, usually there's a lot of, luck based on who goes where. But not in this seed. This seed was like, you're going to go everywhere, and you're going to go to Trinex and Eastern, and you're going to go to Argus and Desert.
You're going to go and find Bombos in Swamp Palace to get Big Key to Hera, wasn't it, in Ice Palace, to get the final step of this where we can finally get the 3rd crystal out of the the Palace of Darkness. Like, this was a really, really rude chain reaction seed that both of you were off the scent for quite a long time. Unfortunately, I mean, that's the whole nature of it. You don't want to go into Swamp Palace without the hook shot because it's a bottleneck.
Thing is, like, I knew, like, early on, I knew that Turtle Rock was the play. But I didn't have a sword the first time, and even if I had, I think at the point I was up on the mountain the first time, I think I only had 2 small keys. So I don't know that. I mean, I couldn't have finished it anyway.
Now, I want to ask both of you this question. I'm going to start with Revenant, and then I'm going to turn to GFE for his answer. When you got to the boss of the Palace of Darkness, what was going through your mind? I'll start with Revenant first.
I was thinking, just thank God it's go mode finally. Finally a boss I can kill.
And what about you, GFE?
Yeah, I was fully expecting Argus 2, and then us to have to go to, like, into Thieves Town.
Yeah. Now, at what point, when you closed that door and saw the armors, did you think, oh shoot, I should have grabbed those arrows underneath the pots?
I was thinking more of...
Yeah, I did feel a little bad.
I was thinking more of I could just hit them into the spikes. Didn't work out as well as I wanted, but it's still...
Yeah, I was trying to do the same thing when I got down to the last 2, but like when they would go to the top, it almost seemed like they just phased through the spikes and didn't care.
Yeah, the spikes in there were a little bit weird.
This whole seed was weird.
Yeah, this was the, like, I haven't played a whole lot of low crystal requirements, but this was definitely the strangest one I've ever seen.
So you get to the very first 50 seconds of this seed. You get to the uncle, he gives you the hammer. Then you walk up to that first chest and you get, this is the compass to Ice Palace. What's going through your mind when you pick that up?
Honestly, when I saw the hammer, I thought it was going to be swordless.
Yeah, I considered that possibility as well.
Yep, until we got to the lumberjack and we saw the first sword there, we thought, oh gosh, this was going to be a swordless seed, but, you know, this was an interesting one to start off week number 4. Now, this puts you both into a tie right now at 4 and 3 in a very competitive Hyrule Castle division. So, what do you look forward to into the second match between you two teams this week?
I don't know, I kind of enjoy weird seeds like this. So I kind of want to see more of the same this
my
week.
man P-Train. Oh. I was going to say, I just hope my man P-Train does not get a swordless or inverted. I mean, he can do both, but I know he despises both of those.
So it's going to be P-Train for Spear Affinity. Who is Did You Check Your Boots going to send in the second match?
It's going to be Warpjig, I believe.
Well, good luck to both of you as we continue on. We have 3 more weeks of this coming up. We have 3 more weeks of the league coming up, weeks 5, 6, and 7. Which of these 3 weeks are you looking forward to the most? I'll start with GFE.
Well, I'm out until week 7, so I guess I'm looking forward to co-op all dungeons, because I'll be doing both races that week, but
Nice.
P-Train and Sabo are going to take care of cross keys and the spoiler co-op.
And what about you, Revenant?
I'm going to be doing cross keys next week. I don't know if I'm going to do pilot. I haven't done much practice with it, but I'd like to do the co-op all dungeons. That's one I'm looking forward to.
Well, let's have a whole lot of fun here with this league. GG's to both of you. GFE, Rampant Revenant here representing Spearfinity, and did you check your boot? Saber UX?
Yes.
You have anything else you want to ask these runners?
Nope, you just about covered it.
All right, well, in that case, let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Let's go ahead and shout out Ping and Tamer for doing the track and clicking the buttons, even though some of them ended up going on the Eaton inputs sides of things. Let's also thank the entire crew over here on Speed Gaming, as well as the entire crew working behind the scenes over at the ALTTPR League Season 2. So with that being said, we got a whole lot of more matches coming up here. If you want to get your fill on more mystery seeds this week, well, we got some races currently in progress, don't we?
Yep, we got one starting in a few minutes, actually. We have Noble Fox's Obscure Lifeform versus Team Awesome's hits you on 1337 on Speed Gaming Prime.
Excuse me, guys. I just got to announce something. I found the hook shot.
Where was it?
Thieves Town boss.
Who was the Thieves Town boss?
Moldorm.
Yay! Mystery, everybody!
There's your hook shot, everybody.
Now you can go back to Desert and beat that Argus.
Oh, wow. GG's, and thank you guys for the commentary. Sorry to interrupt, but I figured that would be an interesting addition.
Yeah, that's good breaking news to interrupt us for. So also coming up today at 6:10, we had Don Veneer versus Dark Shadows 59. That is What Are You Doing in My Swamp Palace versus Beard Force 1. That's at 6:10 right here on Speed Gaming 2. What about at 6:40? What do we got coming up then?
We got 2 matches, actually. On Speed Gaming Prime, we have Frostbite 3030 of Fendrana Drifters versus Dante of the Titans Myths. And then on Speed Gaming 3, we have Emo Sarus from Wu-Tang Clan versus Akir from 16-Bit Nerd.
I do want to point out that Fendrana Drifters versus the Titans Myths, that's a match of 2 5-1 to settle who is going to have the division lead. That's going to be a lot of fun. The Wu-Tang Clan 16-Bit Nerds, they're also tied together with 9 points apiece in their division. That should be a lot of fun. That's in the Lake Hylia division. That Emo Sarah EQ match. At 8:10, we got the Tile Roomies versus the SW Big Skip. Jay Misher versus Fleck. That's over on Speed Gaming 4. And then at 9:10, what do we got?
We got Karnath FD from Team 63 in the third versus I Am the Schwartz from Broken Triforce on Speed Gaming 3. And that's a 3-3 versus 4-2 match.
Yep, and then to wrap things up, we got Siberian Bull 9 representing Super Salty Dungeoneers taking on Demolisher. That's representing I've Got a Tempered. That's over on Speed Gaming 4, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, plus also SMZ3, Crystallis Randomizer, Super Metroid Multi-Category Tournament, plus the second day, or rather third day, of the Metroid Prime 2 Randomizer here on the Speed Gaming channels. Do exclamation point schedule to see all the things that are going on. So that's it. We're done. GG's to both of these runners. I'm Adirondack Rick. Saber UX, I'll give you the final word. Have yourselves a great remainder of your Monday.
Well, later's all. Gotta get those Scooby snacks. Cause this mystery machine's gonna be a lot of fun this week.